Okay, so today's Fun with Cards, we're going to be talking about a brand new common in the Crimson Vow set called Ancient Lumberknot. And the reason this card even got on my radar was thanks to Gozmaster's Discord, where somebody mentioned a deck that they built around this card. And what is so special about this card? Well, at the beginning of combat on your turn, each creature you control with toughness greater than its power gets plus X plus 0 until end of turn. So X is equal to the difference between that creature's toughness and power. So when this creature alone attacks, it becomes a 4/4. And for 10 mana at a common level, it's alright. I mean, you can actually um, deal a decent amount of damage with it if you start reinforcing it. But speaking of reinforcing, that's where this card gets fun. So, what you do with this card is put other creatures that have a large difference between their power and toughness. So, what I found out was Gretchen Titchwillow, which is a card I've actually put in a different deck that I've featured on my YouTube here, is actually a pretty good card on its own, and I like to use it in this deck, but or in other decks too. But this deck in particular, with the tree there, it becomes a 6/6 attacker for 9 mana at common. So that's already a pretty decent card. And at the beginning of your turn, it's got this other thing. But I don't have land cards in this deck, so you get an extra card to draw. So it's actually a pretty decent card on its own. And our other creature will be Overgrown Arch, and when this creature blocks, you gain 3 life, and when this creature dies, learn. But really, it's so that we get a little um 5/5 for 9 mana. So this is my Pauper build, and we'll slowly ramp up to better and better cards as we go in our battles here. So the rest of the deck is, just wizard class shenanigans, and I have Mantle of Webs in here as well to give extra difference in power and toughness for our creatures so that you can get that little buff from the Lumberknot. So now that I've explained the deck, let's go ahead and get into it. So this first battle, we'll get into why this deck works, even at the Pauper level. A lot of it is because Kasmina is such a good planeswalker that other creature or other planeswalkers won't have nearly as much success as she does with the same cards. I mean, I was just watching Nalthazar's newest tier list, and he mentioned Kasmina as being the best planeswalker in Standard right now, and that is probably true. Um, Probably the best card or best planeswalker in the game, bar none, at this point. Blue and green again is just a powerful combo of cards, and that never seems to change. God, got so many Mantles of Webs. Let's at least get a creature on the board. Wizard class, always a great card. You know, it's that uncommon that should be a mythic, but kind of glad it's not. So there's our Lumberknot. Okay. Mortality Spear. We'll probably get rid of the Skeletal Swarming. I think. We'll see. Dang. That's going to be annoying. I really don't like facing a Skeletal Swarming. But I play it all the time, so who am I to talk? So as with every Pauper deck, it's a little on the slow side, but so far, because these creatures have like reach and defender, you actually don't take that much damage as you um, fight in these battles, because unless they have really rough creatures that can blow through your pretty high amount of toughness, your creatures will stay on the board, unless of course they're playing heavy removal, which I'm not sure if this deck actually is, or it's just not getting the mana it needs to actually be an effective deck. But this is actually working pretty well. Maybe it's just kind of a weak deck. That could easily be the case. So as you can see, it's really not taking us much time to do a lot of damage um every turn here. God, skeletal swarming is so annoying. Let's hope we could containment breach it. Finally get it out of our hair. Oh, well, that's what I want. Sweet. Think we finally got rid of it, but it doesn't matter. So, yeah. Really cheap creatures that really buff up in power because of their toughness. And, as long as you can keep that Lumberknot on the board, you can really do a lot of damage with it. So, let's go to our next deck and add a couple of rares into it and make it really fun. So now we got our Peasant build, and we made a couple of very key upgrades. Added 3 rare cards into our deck here. Double Major, which is a very cheap way to reinforce a target creature you control. And if we cast enough of those on Gretchen Titchwillow, it can get really tough. And this guy here, Echoing Equation. So, because we're not invoking it, it can reinforce target creature you control X times until the end of turn, which is X plus 3 of the number of reinforcements of that creature. So, if we save our double majors to cast onto Gretchen Titchwillow, you can reinforce that little girl to, let's see. So if we get 1 reinforcement, 1 plus 4, so 5. So if we have a couple of double majors and just casting Gretchen's enough, you can get a reinforcement of, I don't know, like 8 times. And if you really stack the echoing equations, it gets out of control. And then Glasspool Mimic is so that we can copy the toughness of any of our other creatures here. So if we get our Lumberknot or Titchwillow up in reinforcements, then you have another creature that you can take advantage of with the toughness thing. So let's go ahead and start our next game here. Cool. Gretchen in a double major. Decent start. Jerk. Okay, we got our Lumberknot. Get that going. Cool. Start stacking our double majors. I like to wait until I get my creatures on the board and able to attack before buffing them with any card, because what if he just casted a bounce spell or something on me? Then I would just be out of luck there. So yeah, we're swinging. We're swinging pretty hard already. Dang. See, that's so annoying. As much as I don't want to get rid of an echoing equation, I kind of want the rest of these cards, so. It would be nice to have a wizard class out right now, but that is not in our cards, literally. Well, at least he won't be bouncing us. Let's see. Oh, man. Maybe he will. want a wizard class out, but I also want to do more damage here, so... So that's cool. So we just get to mimic what the Gretchen did. Our wizard class, get an echoing equation down. Maybe we could double it up here. All we need is one match. All right, awesome. So there's that. And then there's that. If we had another glass pull mimic down, that would have been even more awesome if we had one to cast there. But I mean, that's still pretty rad, right? Get that echoing equation really blasting your opponent. So yeah, that's our rare, and let's do a couple of tweaks to make this deck even better with a few mythics. All right, so we threw in a couple of mythics, took out Gretchen and Eureka Moment to make room for our two mythics. So, of course, Charix the Raging Isle has to go into this deck because, when look at that difference in toughness there. So, when we attack with the Lumberknot on the board, we're going to do 20/20 worth of damage. And when on the battlefield, your opponent's spells cost 5 more to cast. So hopefully that means you'll keep your creature on the board longer, because it'll make it a pain in the ass to have to cast a removal spell on you. And then Turn Timber Symbiosis to get our creatures on the board quicker, and also to give a buff to our Lumberknot if we choose to grab it with that card. So that's gonna cause some crazy damage, especially when we start to hit our charts with double majors and echoing equations. And then I left Glasspool Mimic on the board because also for the land forming benefit. So let's get into our final battle. Let's see what we get. All right. Well, that's quick. So, should I go for the land forming card? Nah, not yet. We're already so close to having Charix out that we could just go ahead and start whooping butt. Nice double major already. Let's get a wizard class out. That is the one thing about using Charix, though. When you use your ability, you lose some of that toughness, which then makes you lose power. But if you have a double major to throw on them, then you can make up for some of that loss of power. Should I go for the reclaim or the wizard class? Let's gamble and see if we could. Sweet, that worked. Sometimes I'll do those gambling matches when I feel like there's a decent probability that I'll hit some of the other matches on that cascade or landfall. I don't like that. He already has prevent damage because it's gonna make it so that he's not taking damage while reducing my effectiveness. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, well, at least we got rid of one of his supports, so that's good. Oh, well, that was quick. I guess we didn't really have to deal with that for too long. So that was fast, and I wanted to have a little bit more fun, so let's do another battle, alright? It was so funny. I was paying so much attention to the trying to get our combo going that I had no idea that I was just like destroying my opponent there, which is actually kind of a good problem to have, right? But still, would have been more fun to um, have that battle go on a little longer, just for demo's sake. Would have liked to trigger land forming, but I would also like to get our creature out on the board. Start doing damage so that we don't have to make up for it later. Renin 7 is weak in overall toughness or overall hit points, so this might be another quick battle, but hey, if that's how it's gonna be, then so be it. Kind of shows how strong this deck is, right? Let's do one more and see if we get into a real epic battle here. I think I've been kind of lucky these past few battles. They don't usually end that quickly. I mean, they totally can, and that's what makes this deck good, but still. See if we get our Mimic down. So that's cool too. Yeah, this might be another quick battle. Yep. So that's fun, right? All right. Well, that's really what I wanted to do. I did not expect that to happen a minute into our battle. That usually takes a lot longer, but hey, if the deck is working that well, why not? I mean, that's kind of what we're after in training grounds, right? Quick wins. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that showcase of just a common new creature making a lot of fun things happen. All right, see you in the next one.